So for years, I was not a fan of drawing from photography, from drawing from photographic references. And I felt that it gets so much more from drawing by observing reality. And that photos, which are, frankly, they're pre-filtered, right? They go through some photographer's eyeballs rather than your own eyeballs. And then they go through the camera, and then the camera does the work of compressing the 3 dimensions into 2 dimensions. So it's composed, and so many of these decisions that you want to make as an artist were made by this photographer and this machine. And it just doesn't give you the same experience of drawing as looking at something right in front of you, deciding exactly how you want to frame it, deciding exactly, to have control over every aspect of it. But I wasn't a total purist. And, if it was snowing, for instance, I just open a magazine or some coffee table book or an old yearbook, and I would just draw from pictures. But that was kind of a last resort for me, and I never felt that comfortable about it. But then 2 things happened that changed it all. And one of them is, YouTube. I started doing this regular program called Draw With Me every Thursday. And it seemed more helpful if all the artists out there who were watching and me, if we had the same thing to draw from each week. And so I needed to have a reference photo so I could say, look, let's all draw the same thing, this photo. And the other thing was COVID. So overnight, the universe of things that there was to draw got a lot narrower. And after I'd drawn every chair in my house and every tree in my garden, I had to branch out. So I started with simple Google image searches, and there are just so many pictures to pick from that are just sitting around there on the web. But I didn't go to law school, and I don't know all the rules around copyrights. I always felt a little leery about that. Wasn't sure if I ever wanted to do something with a drawing that had come from a picture I didn't have permission. It didn't feel entirely right. But then, fortunately, there's stock photography, right? Now, back in the days when I was in advertising, stock photography was totally cringeworthy. If you had any kind of a budget, you wanted to avoid the, frankly, cliche-ridden catalogs of pre-made images. They were sort of the processed food of creativity, businessmen shaking hands and a mom holding up a baby, and it was schmaltzy, it was kitsch. But the internet has not only destroyed the profession of studio photography by and large, it has also created opportunities for these vast stock photo libraries. And a lot of them are not half bad. And for some reason I don't really fully understand, a lot of them are free to use with full legal permission. So my go-to usually is Unsplash, but there's hundreds of other ones, Pixabay and Pexels and Life of Pix and Death to Stock and Lieber Stock and Free Pick and Magdalene and Free Ref. I don't know. There's just a lot of them. And there's also a lot of great archives of photography that you can use for reference. We used to have a picture collection at the New York Library that I used to love to go to. You would actually get a file folder with paper pictures that you could borrow like a book from the library. But now there's lots of other online archives. Like the Met, my favorite museum in New York, has a big library and research center that allows you to look at all kinds of art. There's Life magazine is online. There's the British Museum. There's things like Wikimedia and the Library of Congress and Flickr even. There's lots of sub-archives. There's all kinds of stuff. So should you draw from photos? Well, most importantly, I'd rather that you did than not, because it beats not drawing at all. And in many cases, the only way to practice drawing lots of different things, giraffes, jumbo jets, Berlin, is to use photos as a reference, or to fly to Berlin and go to the zoo. So my 2 suggestions are, 1, don't set out to copy the photo. Your goal isn't to do a drawing of a photo. It's to use the reference to figure out the details that you may not know off the top of your head. How many engines are there on a 707? Where are the horns on a giraffe? That kind of thing. And my second tip is vary your drawing diet. Draw real objects that sit in front of you as much as you can. And this is going to sharpen your ability to observe, to compose, to add tone, to figure out shadows and lighting, to create an original work, an original idea, and all the things that you really want to achieve from making art. And then you apply those skills to drawing from any reference that you need. Mix it up. Remember, after all, your goal is to draw and to draw and to draw and to have fun doing it. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, sign up for my free weekly essay. It's full of good advice just like this. And subscribe to this channel. I put out new videos every week. And next, watch this.